Hey guys, it's Leanne from Healthful Pursuit, and this is another mini-sode of the Keto Diet Podcast. You can grab today's podcast extras and transcript over at healthfulpursuit.com/podcast/X32. Today we're going to be chatting about the solutions for keto beginners, and I'm joined by a super special guest. This is a mini-sode first, so let's do this thing. You're listening to the Keto Diet Podcast, and in case you missed it, my 12-week ketogenic video training program for women, Happy Keto Body, is open for registration, but only until tomorrow, January 17th, 2019 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. You can get more details at happyketobody.com, and I'm super excited to see you on the inside. Okay, now on to the show. Our guest today is Allie Miller, one of our amazing new Happy Keto Body coaches. So everyone who joins the Happy Keto Body VIP class, and every VIP that's ever existed before today, will get coached by Allie Miller. So Allie is an integrative functional medicine practitioner with a background in naturopathic medicine. She's a registered and licensed dietitian and certified diabetes educator. A renowned expert in the ketogenic diet, Allie has over a decade of clinical results using a unique whole foods approach to a high-fat, low-carb protocol. Allie's expertise can be accessed through her website, Allie Miller RD. Okay, let's chat with Allie. Hey, Allie, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. How are you doing, Leanne?
I'm so good. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Good.
Cool. Okay, so our focus today is wanting to set everyone up for success as they embark on keto as a woman. And there are 7 things that I think that every woman struggles with as they are approaching the ketogenic diet, or maybe they've been doing it for a little bit and they're feeling like they're struggling. So I wanted to pick your brain because you know all the things about this. Starting off with the first struggle that many women face, and that is fat digestion or overall digestive issues.
Yeah. And I mean, I get almost on the daily, can I do keto without a gallbladder? So that kind of all goes in that category, right? So it is quite a dynamic change for most people to start consuming a high fat diet. And the gallbladder, especially for someone that was doing a calorie restricted low fat diet, like many people do when they're trying to lose weight, the gallbladder becomes kind of lazy and starts to create this sludge because it's not working. And the function of bile, which is what the gallbladder holds, is to emulsify and help with fat absorption, and basically just like soap removes dirt, the emulsification creates nice bowel formation. So it is important to stimulate and work with your liver and gallbladder. So things you might consider is like an apple cider vinegar shot in the morning. Using lemon juice is a really good tool as well. And then if you're dealing with significant impact and you don't have a gallbladder, I highly recommend taking a digestive enzyme that has lipase. That's the type of enzyme that breaks down lipids. And then also a little bit of ox bile in there to help to compensate for that lack of gallbladder. And that's a huge resolution to deal with if you're having loose, urgent stools with the high fat diet. Another thing you might switch up is maybe if you're doing pure fats in your liquids right away, swapping that game up, because we right away want to go into like the fatty coffees and teas and such. So maybe switching up like your MCT oil to MCT powder. That's going to be less distressing on the digestive system, and or playing with eggs in the morning before you go into fasting so your body can kind of calibrate and get adjusted to the higher fat without just spurting that high fat in the system right in the morning. So a couple of things you could kind of adjust there. And then other digestive pieces, like if we're dealing with constipation, we want to make sure we're getting enough fiber from leafy greens. So I love to encourage like 2 to 3 cups of leafy greens a day, and then a cultured probiotic rich food like sauerkraut or kombucha, water kefir. All of these are great options to inoculate the good bugs that will help with that bowel motility.
Amazing. Okay. The second one is keto flu. And I think so many of us just start to feel like garbage on keto and we don't even know what it is. And it's keto flu. And then we push too hard and we end up giving up and we never knew it was keto flu. So can we bust it down.
It's important to say as a disclaimer, it takes like 72 hours for your body to adapt from a carbohydrate diet, generally speaking, if you're not fully fat adapted, into making ketones. So if you're just starting keto and you're eating carbs every Saturday or every Saturday and Sunday and then trying to go back on Monday, you might have a problem with keto flu chronically because you're never really getting fat adapted. So that's something to consider for sure, locking and loading. And the reason we have keto flu often deals with electrolyte imbalance. So when you lower carbohydrates in your diet, that has the word hydrate within carbohydrates. So you lose that whooshing of the water immediately, and that's that excitement on the scale that we see. But with water regulation change in the body, we tend to get electrolyte imbalance. So being mindful of sodium and quite liberal with a quality salt that has good minerals, like a Celtic sea salt, Himalayan salt, or the real salt, really important to get those trace minerals, and be liberal, like 2 teaspoons minimum a day, adding that even to your water or to your coffee. I like to do half of an avocado with coarse salt and lemon juice because that adds that potassium as well as that sodium. And then you get a good amount of magnesium in your nuts and seeds and your leafy greens. But magnesium is usually my first go-to supplement intervention. The form of magnesium glycinate is the best neuromuscular if you're dealing with headaches and chronic fatigue and just not able to kick it.
Amazing. Okay. The third thing is people are told on keto that you'll never be hungry. So they leave their house without any food and then they get hungry and then they are not eating keto and they go to McDonald's and they get fries because they're just so hungry they can't survive. So what are some of your quick tips on easy access foods to keep us eating the fats and keeping us feeling good?
Yeah. So I love all of the varieties of nut butter packs that are out now. Great things to like throw in your purse. Also, I love that even this might sound strange, but I love the individual olive oil on its own. And I keep salt in my purse and I will literally shoot olive oil with salt. And I think that that's like the most amazing pick me up. But don't worry, friends, there's other like chewable real food options as well. So doing like a quick roll up, I like to take a leafy green, like a collard green with a good quality nitrate-free deli meat and a slice of cheese or an aioli and roll that up and then like cut it like little sushi slices. Super easy. And you can keep that on hand for times of need. And I think we often think that everything has to be temperature controlled, but there's so many things. Celery with nut butter, just eating nuts and seeds like macadamia nuts, coconut, little chips of dried coconut. All these things work really well to the level of Parm crisps. And we're getting so much more now snacks on the market that work really well in a pinch. And I also never leave home without a quality grass-fed beef jerky stick or the Peterson's individually wrapped bacon, because that's always a good tool.
How can you not have that in your purse at all times?
That's what like saves me from so much of my 2-year-old's meltdowns. It's like, here, child, have some bacon. It works every time.
Amazing motherly tip. Okay. The fourth piece is when we get started in keto, and I did the same thing. I was like, plants, carbs. And I just focused on fats. And one mega tip that I wish I would have learned way sooner, would have caused a lot less headache, is balancing fats and plants. Would you agree? And what are your favorite plants to do that?
Yeah. So, I mean, plants are great because you can get a lot of volume. So although you may have more satiety, as you mentioned, with the ketogenic diet, we also are kind of natured to want to feel full at times. And so not to the level of discomfort, but to actually get some of that stretch receptor action going on in the gut. And so using like 2 to 3 cups of leafy greens is only going to hit you like 50 calories, very moderate to low. And, you're really going to get a huge bang for your buck for satiety there. You're also going to get that magnesium that's going to be very rich in minerals, folate, which is a great nutrient density. And you can get a lot of nutrients in your vegetables, your non-starchy vegetables that support detoxification and hormone balance. So I think it's definitely a balance. And every time you have a vegetable, you totally want to have fat with it. So adding fats like quality olive oil to your salad with an acid actually helps to absorb the nutrients in the greens. Adding ghee or avocado oil to your roasted cauliflower with turmeric is a great way to absorb that bioavailability of the curcuminoids. So foods work in synergy, and they're definitely friends. And I think they're both essential pieces of a healthy, balanced keto diet.
Yes, couldn't agree with you more. More from Allie and I after this quick message. I just want to remind y'all that tomorrow is the last day to join Happy Keto Body, my 12-week online membership program for women. So if you've been on the fence over this week or you've just been putting it off, I totally get it. Sometimes it's hard to step out and try something new. This is it. After tomorrow, Happy Keto Body closes so we can focus on supporting all of our new members and making this the best experience for our peeps so far. The good news is you get 30 days. That's almost a third of the program you can experience before you actually have to do any real deciding because of our 30-day money back guarantee. So if you've been thinking about it and wondering, is this right for me? This is your chance to dive in. Check out the first several videos from me and Dr. Nina. Take some time to explore extra resources and bonuses, all without having to make your real decision until you're in a much better place to know that Happy Keto Body will help you 10 times your keto confidence so you can stay motivated and get the results you've been craving. So if you need help with the decision to start, just keep in mind you're just making a tiny decision right now to join before registration closes. Then you get to take 30 days before you really have to decide. Head on over to happyketobody.com to join. Okay, back to my chat with Allie. Okay, the fifth thing that beginners struggle with, or just women on keto really, is craving sweets, especially when you first get started. You still got that strong sweet tooth and you're just like, I just want, mine was Swedish fish. I was just like, I want the Swedish fish. My trick was to just keep eating fat, like just eat fat, keep adding fat, and it just goes away. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So having some nice flavored fat bombs are great. So many good recipes out there using a nut butter, cacao butter, or cacao powder, grass-fed butter, coconut oil, you name it, as the fat. And fat bombs in your freezer is a great place. They stay forever. So those are a great go-to. If you're dealing with emotional or physical hunger, I think just using pure coconut oil is a great tool because you're giving your body high octane fuel. You're getting those MCTs to help to produce ketones to help to give you more satiety. And that breaks that chain of like, is this emotional? Is this a particular flavor? Or do I just need fuel? Mm-hmm. So that can be a great tool too, just a straight up spoonful of coconut oil. And I have never seen a client binge on coconut oil where they may with like a nut butter. So that's a little bit more of a slippery slope food. But my third favorite go-to would be a square of dark chocolate with nut butter or toasted coconut butter spread on top with coarse salt. That's my go-to for sure. Anytime I'm like around that time of the month and I feel like I've earned it, it's a really good option and still stays very low carb and keto friendly.
Yep, that is my go-to as well. The toasted coconut butter is essential. Okay, the sixth, overwhelm. There's so much stuff coming at you and so many things you think you need to do and how you need to do them. How do we overcome that so that we just don't say, enough's enough, I can't do this, I'm out?
So I think the most important thing is getting back to connecting with our bodies, and journaling is a really important tool of that. So maybe not tracking to the level of like on MyFitPal doing macros, maybe journaling and just checking in with how you feel. So that way you can kind of weed out the trends of if you felt more bloated, was there a trend of a particular food you ate too much of? And maybe that's an intolerance and you want to tease that out. Or if you had really awesome killer digestion and an awesome bowel movement on Wednesday, what did you eat on Tuesday? How can you mimic that again? So journaling and taking both the qualitative experience of your body, including sleep, energy, digestion, feelings, and then using that as reflection is the best way to stay connected. And the more connected you are, the more you can help to evolve within your diet decisions without just focusing on rules and doctrine, which can sometimes drive you to disconnect and work the other way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Seventh, final one. Social situations. We start to get really, really nervous as we embark in treating our body with kindness of eating low carb, high fat, and getting a feel for it. And then we go to work and a friend asks us if we want brownies or we want to go for lunch. And then we're like, what do we do?
Yeah. So I think really being solid in your commitment, and I love to incorporate mantra, like I eat foods that love my body and I eat foods that nourish my body, or, I'm eating foods to nourish and heal at this time. And there's nothing that I want that I can't have. It's a desire thing. And it's a kind of perspective shift of taking out the victim mentality. You're able to empower yourself with your food decisions. So food should be worked to empower you, not to have power over you. And when you start to feel victimized, that's only going to lead you to want to fall off. I also see on the other end of the spectrum, the wolves in sheepskin, when you're losing weight and looking all fly and people are like, are you going to eat like that forever? So community is super important, to have friends in the world of keto that keep you on track and don't put their toe out to trip your progress.
Amazing. And all of this really is to communicate to you, and everything that I'm hearing is like, we can keep it simple.
Yeah.
We don't have to feel lost as we embark on keto. And for those listening who are just like wanting a group of women thriving alongside you and feeling that support, and you want help from Allie, myself, Dr. Nina, and ongoing support and solutions to problems before they run amok and you become so overwhelmed you just can't handle it, you guys can head on over to happyketobody.com to register for Happy Keto Body. Registration is open until tomorrow, January 17th, 2019 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific, and we both hope to see you inside. Allie, thank you so much for joining me in today's episode.
Oh, my pleasure. It's so fun as always.
Thanks for listening to the Keto Diet Podcast. Join us again in a couple of days to discover more keto for women secrets for your fat-fueled life. The Keto Diet Podcast, including show notes and links, provides information in respect to healthy living, recipes, nutrition, and diet, and is intended for informational purposes only. The information provided is not a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor is it to be construed as such. We cannot guarantee that the information provided on the Keto Diet Podcast reflects the most up-to-date medical research. Information is provided without any representations or warranties of any kind. Please consult a qualified physician for medical advice, and always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding your health and nutrition program.